2 Samuel 2. After this, David asked the Lord, "Should I go up into any of the cities of Judah?" And the Lord said to him, "Go up." And David said, "Where shall I go up to?" And he said, "To Hebron." So David went up there, along with his 2 wives, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail the wife of Nabal of Carmel. And David brought up with him his men, every man with his household. And they lived in the towns of Hebron. And the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the tribe of Judah. And they told David, "The men of Jabesh Gilead were the ones who buried Saul." And David sent messengers to the men of Jabesh Gilead and said to them, "May the Lord bless you, that you have showed this kindness to your lord, that is, Saul, and have buried him. And now may the Lord show steadfast love and faithfulness to you. I also will repay you this same kindness, because you have done this. Now therefore let your hands be strong, and be valiant, for Saul your lord is dead and the descendants of Judah have anointed me king over them." Now Abner son of Ner, captain of Saul's army, had taken Saul's son Ishbosheth to Mahanaim and made him king over Gilead, over the Asherites, over Jezreel, over Ephraim, over Benjamin, and over all Israel. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel, and he reigned 2 years. But the descendants of Judah followed David. And the time that David was king in Hebron over the descendants of Judah was 7 years and 6 months. And Abner son of Ner and the troops of Ishbosheth son of Saul went out from Mahanaim to Gibeon. And Joab the son of Zeruiah, and the troops of David went out and met them by the pool of Gibeon. They sat down, the one group on one side of the pool, and the other group on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, "I request that we let the young men stand up and compete before us." And Joab said, "Let them stand up." Then they arose and came forward as they were counted, 12 for Benjamin and Ishbosheth son of Saul, and 12 of the troops of David. And every one grabbed his opponent by the head and thrust his sword in his opponent's side, so they fell down together. Therefore that place is called Helkath Hazarim, which is in Gibeon. And the battle was very fierce that day, and Abner and the men of Israel were defeated by the troops of David. And the 3 sons of Zeruiah were there, Joab, Abishai, and Asahel. And Asahel was as fast on his feet as a wild gazelle. Asahel pursued after Abner, and he did not turn to the right or to the left from following Abner. Then Abner looked behind him and said, "Is it you, Asahel?" And he answered, "Yes, it is." And Abner said to him, "Turn aside to your right or to your left and seize one of the young men, and take his armor." But Asahel would not turn aside from following him. And Abner said again to Asahel, "Turn aside from following me. Why should I strike you to the ground? How then could I hold up my face to Joab your brother?" But he refused to turn aside. Therefore Abner struck him with the butt of the spear in his stomach, so that the spear came out behind him. And he fell down there and died where he lay. And as time passed, all those who came to the place where Asahel fell down and died stood still. But Joab and Abishai pursued after Abner. And the sun went down when they arrived at the hill of Ammah, which lies before Giah by the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. And the descendants of Benjamin rallied around Abner and formed one band and stood on the top of a hill. Then Abner called to Joab and said, "Shall the sword devour forever? Don't you know that the end result will be bitter? How long will it be then, how long will it be before you call off your men from pursuing their brothers?" And Joab said, "As surely as God lives, if you had not spoken, surely until morning the people would have not stopped pursuing each of their brothers. So Joab blew the trumpet, and all the people stood still and stopped pursuing Israel and did not fight them any more. And Abner and his men traveled all that night through the Arabah. They crossed over the Jordan and traveled all morning and came to Mahanaim. And Joab returned from following Abner. And when he had gathered all the people together, David's troops were missing 19 men plus Asahel. But the troops of David had struck down and killed 360 men from Benjamin and from Abner's men. And they carried Asahel and buried him in the tomb of his father, which was in Bethlehem. And Joab and his men traveled all night, and the day broke upon them as they arrived at Hebron.